What's good, y'all? Kabeh here, and today I'm doing a sample breakdown of one of the samples off of the Universe sample pack, a sample pack that I dropped with my boy Juice, and I decided to break down the sample called Revel. I decided to break this one down because it's one of my favorites on the pack, and one thing that people always ask me is how I manipulate my samples and do my percussion. And this loop, like this sample, is heavy on vocals and percussion, as y'all will hear. So let's just get into the breakdown. So before I say anything, I think I'm gonna play the sample in full so y'all can get an idea of what it sounds like. So yeah, y'all can get an idea of how it sounds, the vibe we were going for, and let's get to the breakdown. So the first thing, how it started was with this starter from Juice that he sent me. So yeah, this basically just set like the mood, the vibe that we were going for. So I just built on top of that. The first thing that I did with the starter was to cut it up into little pieces. So the chords, the melodies, the top line, and the bass. Because I wanted to treat them separately, use different effects on each one of those, and I'll get more into those later. So the first thing that I probably added was the bass. It's from the Mini Moog from Arturia. Pretty simple bass, just follow the root notes. And this preset, I love it so much. It's the Club Sub preset that I edited. I tweaked it around. I'm gonna probably drop a preset similar to this on my upcoming Analog Lab bank, because this is really like my go-to like bass sound nowadays. It just sounds so good, that those fat notes gliding into each other. I just think it's so beautiful. So after that, I probably added the chords. Super nice. It's from the CS80. I love this plugin. It's my favorite synth, and it's the Prophet preset. I use this preset all the time to this day. We made the sample like back in April or May, I think. So yeah, I still use this preset all the time. I tweaked it. It's not how the preset sounds. I added a bit of gliding and messed around with the filter, but it's pretty close. So after that, we already had like a base for the sample, so I just added a couple of top lines on it with the DX7. Yeah, it's the Voxy organ preset. I tweaked it, that's why it has this little symbol here. I don't remember what I tweaked it on it, but I messed around with it. And the CS80, another top line. Pretty simple. It's not too much going around. And what I think really like brings the sample up, the level of the sample up, are the percussions and the vocals. So how do I did this vocals? And I don't do this type of vocals no more like all the time like I was doing before. But as I said, this was like a couple months ago. Basically, all these vocals are from Splice. There's a lot of packs with vocal hooks on them, and I just use them basically. What I'm looking for when I'm looking for vocals is how I'm not looking for the words, what they're saying, but more of what they're singing and the basing of the vocal. One thing that I really kept in mind when doing this sample is the overall pacing, and I'm gonna get more into that when we get to the percussion. But so basically, this is how I process them. I threw Smooth Operator. Is basically like a soothe kind of plugin from Baby Audio. Parametric EQ, a bandpass. I'm cutting out the lows and the highs. I don't want the vocals to really shine because this is just a sample. A beat is gonna be on top of it, and after that, another artist is gonna be on top of it. So that's why I really don't be thinking about what the vocal hooks are saying, but more what they are singing. A flanger, I always throw flanger on almost everything. Mid-side matrix to bring the sides up for the vocals. I really don't want them to be like centered. Valhalla delay and vintage verb is basically all I use for delays and reverbs is Valhalla. And this is how the sample sounds originally, how the vocal sounds originally. So yeah, it's a lot more fast, so I just brought the tempo down and 100 semitones, one semitone down so it can fit the key of the sample. Another thing that I did with the vocals was to add this little accent vocals. I used to do that all the time on every sample. I don't do that no more, but I really like how it sounds. And it's probably just, yeah, drowned on reverb. These I got from Slate Digital. They have a couple vocal packs, drum packs and shit. So this is how I got them from. I really think they add like a nice touch to it. And the percussion. I'm pretty sure this percussion I got also from Splice. And what I'm really looking for when I'm searching for percussion to use is the pacing. You can see how this other percussion loop comes in, how it changes the overall vibe of the sample. And this is like a salsa loop. I love doing this. I have a lot of packs with a lot of percussion from all around the world, and I like to use that percussion that wouldn't normally be used on this context and have it fit in on this. I just think it gives like a nice touch, like a different touch, something that you wouldn't normally hear. And this is what I talked about, the pacing. When the percussion comes in, it begins with no percussion. When it comes in, it's a more slow, just to keep the tempo going. When it gets into the second part of the hook, it gets a little more fast. Gets a little faster, and the vocals don't appear on this section, so it gives this different feel to it. And the third one is just to keep the tempo. And the way I process them, smooth operator, again, EQ, cutting out the lows, then is the sweeper. This is like my secret sauce. Another flanger, mid-side matrix. I really don't want the percussion right down the center, and Valhalla vintage verb. And I really love this. I really love how it sounds. I really love how it sounds like it wasn't supposed to be there. And I just love the touch that it gives. Basically, that's it. There's a couple textures on top of it. A crackle sound. Pretty sure y'all heard those before, that I just threw in the background. So that's basically it. On the bass, I use the capitator. I use the capitator a lot on basically all of my basses. Delay on the top lines of the guitar, super VHS on the chords of the guitar. That's basically it for the sample. It's a pretty simple sample. There's not a lot of things going on. There's not a lot of different sections going on, but I just picked it to break it down because of the vocals and the percussion. I think it's something that it's not that hard to do, and it really like elevates the level of the sample. So yeah, this is one of the samples off of the Universe sample pack that I made with my boy Juice. There's 25 samples on there. It's available on Outofideas.co. It's the first link on the description. I really appreciate you guys for sticking up to this point. Follow me on Instagram, follow my boy Juice on Instagram, and I'll see y'all next time.